simultaneous drill by next week, by July 9, para testing na natin kung ano po ang magiging response ng ating mga school at makita natin at ma-determine gaano ka-ready talaga ang mga schools natin in responding to this kind of incident. And going to that question nga, Madam Chair, talagang even our teachers po, they were traumatized in fact with the Tacloban City San Jose National High School incident. So
Ayun,
hindi lang po
Yusek,
talaga mga bata.
pakidugtong, kumusta? It's a big topic, but kahit in broad strokes, napaka-importante, kumusta yung welfare ng mga teachers?
Yes, ma'am. Well, of course, the primary aspiration of the DepEd is really to tingnan muna yung welfare ng mga bata, especially yung mga nasugatan na at that time, immediately after we received the report, Madam Chair, Seksani already dispatched us, no, including myself and one ASEC and a team to go to Tacloban City and assess the situation. Una po namin kinausap yung mga bata. At isa lang ho, Madam Chair, yung common, hindi po yung sakit ng sugat nila, but really the experience. Marami po sa kanila, sinasabi po ng mga magulang na nakausap namin, in the middle of the night, nagigising po sila, biglang iiyak, biglang sisigaw. So I think at that time, what we really prioritize is the administration of the psychosocial first aid. Inuna po namin yung mga bata, yung mga kaklase. Yung pong mga nasa ospital, hindi po muna because probably they would require a higher level of intervention because we would not want them to be escalated or elevated to what we call as post-traumatic disorder. But for those who were the classmates, yun po yung inuna natin. That now includes, Madam Chair, the teachers. So far we have already, for that school alone, we have already administered around 703 cases of psychosocial first aid. Mas malaking bilang po doon yung mga bata and some teachers and including parents, Madam Chair. Kasi yung parents din po traumatic din sa kanila, knowing that paano kung yung anak ko ang isa doon sa mga naging biktima. And at this point, would like to take this opportunity, Madam Chair, to thank the other government agencies, SecRex for DSWD, for providing the augmentation insofar as the psychosocial first aid is concerned, including the DOH. At we were able to mobilize, Madam Chair, around 571 PFA responders, no? Including private sector, non-government organizations, UP Tacloban helped in providing the psychosocial first aid. So I think, well, probably the drill would be able to make our teachers more aware of what to do during this kind of incident. And would like to take this opportunity also, Madam Chair, to thank our teachers because out of instinct, kahit wala po siguro silang training, out of instinct, they were able to secure their respective classes. Kasi may klase na po during that time. So automatic instinct po ng mga teachers when they heard the first shot is really to lock the doors. But again, structurally, we also have to look into this because isa po sa mga basic kung lockdown po ito, yung mga locks ng mga doors ko, may mga hindi po gumagana eh. So kahit po ano, that's why that was the attempt and that was the heroism of Chris Lawrence. Kasi siya po talaga yung humihila ng pinto para hindi humabuksan yung pintuan. And again, unfortunately, he was one of the victims. And that's really a heroism on the part of Chris Lawrence. So these are the things that we would like to see and to simulate na how to simulate this kind of environment. And with the help of the PNP, we are very hopeful that we'll be able to come up with a very, very comprehensive protocol on active shooting drills po natin. And we'd like to highlight also, Madam Chair, that in collaboration with the PNP, sabi namin kung ang fire nag-audit in terms of fire safety, now we are also inviting PNP to conduct security audit, random security audits in our schools so that malaman po namin, ma-flag kaagad kung may mga schools tayo that probably, since hindi po namin expertise, baka may mga areas that really would have to come up with some interventions in terms of security measures. So again, Madam Chair, we are listening to the recommendations, and rest assured, ma'am, that DepEd is really doing everything it can so that we'll be able to address this problem. If it happened in Tacloban, it can happen in other schools. And we are very appreciative of the committee for really coming up with this whole community approach intervention. Magulang po talaga, Madam Chair. And we are launching, by the way, we'd like to share with you, we're launching a massive, big movement. It's called Kaagapay. So Kaagapay is basically a stakeholder, multi-stakeholder convergence uh, in terms of curbing our school violence in our communities, in our schools. Malaki hong bahagi doon sa Kaagapay yung parent effectiveness and parent awareness. And as mentioned by Senator Tulfo, we would like also to reposition the purpose of the PTA na maging kaagapay po ang Parent-Teacher Association for awareness, information dissemination, orientations, and everything, and in terms of advocacy. So, Madam Chair, maraming salamat po, and that's all that we can share at the moment. But we will be fully cooperating with your committee, ma'am, for whatever technical input that we can provide on the part of DepEd. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Yusek Garma. Sabi nyo that's all, pero it was already a lot. So salamat po. And kasama po ninyo, pinapasalamatan din po ng komite yung mga guro na naging bayani din sa mga estudyante nila nung araw na iyon. Tulad ni Chris Lawrence, tulad din ni Kay, sila rin pong mga guro. And ang ganda po nung sinabi nyo na yung UP Tacloban at yung ibang mga paaralan doon, kasama po silang nag-psychosocial first aid. So isang konkretong halimbawa nung sinasabi kanina ni Miss Janica, yung kapatid ni Jeric na dapat talaga nagtutulungan yung mga tao sa kayong iba't ibang grupo. So salamat po para doon, Yusek. And lastly, so where's my note? Teka muna. So sorry. So last and not the least, a short statement from the National Federation of Supreme Secondary Learner Governments. Ms. Aliana, bilang ang mga kabataan, sabi nga kanina nung isang resource person natin, it's the youth who are at the center of this. Maybe it was Sir Ace. Kayo po yung nasa sentro. So kayo bilang stakeholder, you please may have the last word this afternoon.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair, for giving us this opportunity. Ako po ay isang leader estudyante. Ako po ay isang estudyante. And what's happening in our country right now with those students in the schools, that is our lived reality. And maraming salamat for giving us the chance to speak here. Kasi kung ano man po ang resulta ng hearing na ito, ang estudyante ang maapektuhan. At yun ang palagi nating dapat naiisip, that representation is very, very important in every aspect. Ang sa akin naman po, I would like to share my experience in terms of also online games and what happened in Tacloban. Of course, we mourn with Tacloban, and as a student leader, as the president of the highest federation of learner governing bodies in the Philippines, we are very concerned, and we also have these programs that help students in terms of psychosocial and mental health interventions with our guidance counselors. And unang-una po, nais ko lamang iparating na it always takes a village to raise a child. Pero the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down just to feel its warmth. Ganun po yun. Kaya we are not pointing fingers. Marami pong factors sa society natin na nakakaapekto sa kung paano po mag-isip ang isang bata. Tama po. That's why we should always remember that we should not point fingers into only one factors. We have to look at it in a retrospective and forward-looking manner na gaya nga po ng sinasabi kanina, sana po ay hindi na po ito maulit. And This is also on a personal note that also acknowledging the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, that every child has a right. And yung krimen po kasi, iba-iba po yung level niya. Meron pong mga batang involved sa non-violent offense, katulad po ng pagnanakaw. Meron din pong batang repeatedly engaging in violent conduct. And then meron din pong batang na-exploit by adults to commit crimes. And a child who commits a planned act of grave violence. These children may fall under the same age of bracket, but they do not present the same level of risk. That is my statement, and I will leave it to everyone to ponder upon. And through consultation with also with student leaders nationwide, one message becomes clear for all of us. Us learners do not simply want to be protected. We want to be meaningfully included in conversations that shape these policies intended to protect us. Kaya maraming salamat po dahil nandito kami, napakinggan namin kung anong nangyayari at binigyan niyo rin po kami ng pagkakataon para magsalita dito. Kasi kung ano man po ang mangyari ngayon, kami po ang unang-unang maapektuhan. Safety is not achieved only through security measures alone. It is built through responsive institutions, effective child protection mechanisms, accessible mental health support, responsible digital citizenship, and school communities where every learner feels heard before they are placed at risk. At isa din po to sa naiisip ko na kami pong ang mga kabataan po, wala rin silang enough na knowledge sa kung ano po ang mga batas na meron tayo. Kaya sana ay malagay natin siya sa basic education na hindi man po siya as complex, pero maturuan po natin ang mga batang ito na ang mga batas na ito we should assume it as something that would let us freely walk. And I think everything starts with learning and everything starts with education. And as this committee po considers legislative and policy reforms, we respectfully hope that learner participation will always be recognized as an essential component of prevention. Those who experience the realities of learners every day inside the school can also offer perspectives that strengthen both your policies and implementation. And yung mga decision pong nagawa dito ngayon, it will reach every classroom in the Philippines, maybe not tomorrow, maybe next month, next year, or in the future. So it is just fitting that a student is here, that a student leader is here, someone who have lived the reality of Filipino learner, and someone who always strives to put herself in the shoes of those Filipino learners. And I will leave you with this. We can only truly ensure that no learner is left behind when every learner is safe, protected, and free from harm. Maraming salamat po at isang makabatang araw.
Maraming salamat din, Aliana. So we'll be counting on you, young people, to work with us, older persons, parents nyo, teachers nyo, to combat this threat to young people and children. Forgive me, dear friends, I said last and not the least. So we started with the most important voices, the families. We're about to end with a most important voice from the youth. But I need to ask also our spokesperson, resource persons from Meta and Google. Thank you for staying with us the whole day. Even if in broad strokes initially here, because we will still have a succeeding hearing. What can Meta, what can Google do to make platforms safer? So perhaps Mr.
Gingyos
Lee Chai
Anand.
Chai Anand.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Swatika.
Madam Chair. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before this committee today. I'm Gingyos Lee Chai Anand, a part of the regional law enforcement outreach team that work directly with the Philippine authority to facilitate the request with the Meta Platform Inc. Before anything else, let me express our deepest condolence. My hearts go out to the family, the student, and the teacher, and the people of the Tacloban. I'm really sorry for the tragic event. I share this committee urgency and have coordinated with Meta Platform Inc., which is the operator of the platform on the matter. Please rest assured that protecting young people online is not just a policy position for Meta, but it is a responsibility that Meta takes it seriously every single day. Meta has one of the most comprehensive policy in the industry targeting terrorist organization and also hate group, organized criminal organization, violent inducing entities, and perpetrators of designated violent events. And our policy called dangerous organization and individual or DOI policy. Our DOI policy addresses various forms of violent extremism, including nihilistic violence as well. Under this DOI policy, we designate and ban individuals and organizations involved in activities and remove qualification and support of them when we become aware of it. This includes perpetrators of violent events such as school shooting. We do not allow organizations or individuals that proclaim a violent or hateful mission or are engaged in violence to have presence on Meta platform. We access this entity based on their behavior, both online and offline, and most significantly, their tier to the violence. Under this policy, we designate an individual, organization, and network of people. Upon learning of the incident, Meta activated the Violating Violent Event Protocol. This is among the most comprehensive enforcement responses in the system. Under this protocol, Meta removed the perpetrator account and took down content glorifying and supporting the attack. We also removed the perpetrator-generated content and any material that depicting the moment of violence against visible victim. Meta also applied the disturbing content warning on the aftermath footage. And also shortly after the incident, we reached out to the law enforcement to pledge our support to assist in their investigation and have maintained continuous communication. Meta is committed to being a partner to law enforcement globally. And so our emergency data requests we receive are action 24/7 on a global scale. And also so that law enforcement can obtain the information they need on a timely basis. When the law enforcement submit their request to Meta, I help facilitate those preservation and emergency data requests, and we will continue to support the law enforcement in their investigation. So Meta have invested significantly in protecting for young people. Accounts belonging to users under 16 years old are automatically set to the most protective privacy setting. Direct messages from unknown adults are blocked. Sensitive content is restricted by default. And also the time management tools are enabled automatically. The Family Center gives parents and guardians direct supervision over their teen experiences. Meta also deploy AI-powered detection system to identify violating content proactively. So we support thoughtful regulation and welcome collaboration with the Philippine government on strengthening the protection for young people. We believe age-appropriate framework built on evidence offer the most effective safeguard. We also recognize that threats we face nowadays are cross-platform in nature. As founding member and current chair of the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism, Meta work with the broader tech industry to share the threat intelligence, coordinate the crisis response, and also prevent the exploitation of digital platform by violent extremists. So in terms of the preventive measures, we spend years developing robust safety measures to ensure young people are kept safe while using our platform, while protecting people privacy and security. This includes introducing teen account with a built-in protection that limit who can contact teen, preventing suspicious adults from finding and interacting with teens and with each other, and also warning teens who are already in contact with this adult. Teen accounts are default into private account, so teen need to approve any new followers. The strictest message setting, so teen can only be messaged by people they follow or are already connected to. Daily time limit reminder. We remind teen in teen account to leave the app after 60 minutes and sleep mode. Importantly, teen under 16 cannot make any of these settings restrict without the parent permission. So more importantly, Meta is currently working with the relevant team to plan the rollout the Amber Alert in the Philippines. Meta Amber Alert is the program that display missing child alert, including the child photos, names, and last known location, directly to the people on Meta family of app within a target radius. This initiative help locate abduct children quickly by distributing alert to millions of nearby users, significantly increasing the chance of a timely rescue. This serves as an example of how serious Meta take child safety in the Philippines. And the Philippines will be the third country in the Southeast Asia where Meta launches this program to help ensure the child safety. And this is during at the initial stage.
Mr.
So-
Lichayanan, if
Yeah.
I may interrupt, could you kindly
Yep, sure.
wind up, but please submit this
Yeah.
statement in writing
Okay,
to
sure.
the committee.
So,
Thank you so much.
We are committed to working with this committee, with our government partner, and with civil society to ensure young Filipinos are safe online. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Mr. Lichayanan. And forgive me, I made a mistake earlier. It's Meta and not the other company I mentioned, but TikTok. So please, Attorney Gonzalez, so ano pong magagawa ng TikTok para gawing mas ligtas yung platform ninyo?
Madam Chair, good afternoon. I'm Ibs Gonzalez, Head of Public Policy for TikTok in the Philippines, and we thank you for inviting us here today. Let me state our position clearly. The safety of our users, especially teens, is TikTok's absolute non-negotiable priority. We have zero tolerance for violent extremism, youth exploitation, or child abuse in any form. To protect our community, we enforce a multi-layered defense system. First, our strict prohibitions. We completely ban violent and hateful organizations or individuals, including UN-designated violent extremists, to prevent our platform from being used to glorify violence or inspire copycat actions. Next, are stricter safeguards for minors. We enforce separate, significantly more stringent content eligibility rules for our For You feed to prevent borderline or harmful material from ever reaching teens. And finally, proactive defenses. We combine cutting-edge automated technology like computer vision and natural language processing with specialized human review teams to catch and remove violative content before it scales. Globally, from January to March 2026, we proactively removed 99.6% of content violating our policies on violent and hateful individuals, including 93.6% within 24 hours and almost 90% without any views. However, we know that digital safety cannot be achieved in a vacuum. TikTok views itself as a collaborative, trusted ally to Philippine authorities. We maintain direct communication channels with the PNP, DOJ, the NBI, and the DICT-CICC actively utilizes TikTok's safety enforcement tool for streamlined content removal and real-time tracking. Furthermore, just this May, we actively coordinated with this committee during the roundtable workshop on nihilistic violent extremism to better identify and dismantle high-risk account clusters. Moving forward, we advocate for digital policies grounded in objective data and inputs from experts rather than reactive approaches only. To ensure a sustainable, predictable regulatory framework, TikTok strongly supports and urges the Senate to adopt House Bill number 9461 or the Child Online Safety and Protection Act. This critical bill modernizes the Philippines' legal framework by explicitly criminalizing modern, technology-facilitated threats like AI-generated exploitation and deepfakes. We do not want bad actors in our system, and we stand fully ready to work hand in hand with this committee and law enforcement to keep Filipino youth safe. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Gonzales. And thank you to each and everyone who's been here the whole day. And speaking of this whole day, narinig po natin ngayong araw mula sa law enforcement agencies, cybersecurity experts, at psychology experts ang banta ng nihilistic violent extremism o NVEs ay narito na sa Pilipinas. At marami ng kabataan ang apektado. Ngayong araw, habang naghihiring tayo, may acts of school violence sa Iloilo, Cavite, at Zamboanga. Sabi ng Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, kaugnay sa grupong 764, ang marami sa nakikita nating violent events sa ating mga paaralan. Sabi ng mga independent resource persons, at salamat muli sa kanila, salamat muli sa inyo, sadly, if we don't turn things around, we might expect more in the days, months, and years to come. Pigilin po natin yun. Mass casualty events involving children, perpetrated by children, can only be described as horrific. And we must be willing to address all roots of this issue if we are to have a fighting chance against this phenomenon. If our young people, our children, are to have a fighting chance. May obligasyon sa pagharap ng problemang ito ang law enforcement, ang education system, ang local governments, at ang private sector, kasama ang game developers, social media, at mga komunidad. Kailangan po natin itong harapin ng magkakasama. To our parents, fellow parents, alam kong mabigat na yung maraming pinapansin natin ang buhay na ito, ngunit idagdag natin sa ating mga tungkulin ang pagiging familiar sa mundo nila online. Makinig tayo, magtanong tayo. Mas mahalaga ang connection kaysa sa control. Children who can talk with their parents are less susceptible to grooming. To our teachers, first of all, I hope you stay safe and protected. It is our job as government, our job, to make you safe and protected. Malaki ang papel ninyo sa bagong hamong ito. Kayo madalas unang nakakakita kapag may batang unti-unting lumalayo, nagpabagong ugali o tahimik na humihingi ng tulong. Huwag nating hayaang may batang maligaw ng walang nakakapansin. At sa ating mga kabataan, ang henerasyon ni na Aliana at yung mga mas bata pa sa kanila, kung may taong online na humihikayat sa inyong saktan ng sarili ninyo, manakit ng iba, o ilayo kayo sa inyong pamilya at mga kaibigan, hindi yon kaibigan. Pang-aabuso iyon. Sabihin ninyo sa isang taong pinagkakatiwalaan ninyo, di kayo nag-iisa. Lastly po, let's be there for each other. Silipin, kumustahin, kalingain natin ang isa't isa. Parang yung sinabi din kanina ni Miss Janica. Pag may sugatan, akayin. At definitely, kaya nang sinabi din niya, huwag mag-video. Ano ba yun? Kapag may naliligaw, hanapin. Ang susugpo sa NVE ay di lamang matigas na law enforcement o bagong batas. Ito ay human connection. In closing, I apologize to those whom we failed to call today, especially our private sector stakeholders, the CWC, NTC, DILG, PCTC, and other government agencies, NGOs like UNICEF. There will be a next hearing po to get all other equally important inputs to this new and horrifying phenomenon. So maraming salamat po sa lahat, sa bawat isa. This hearing is hereby suspended.